Hey again, collective. Well, I just finished the overall weekly energy read, and it's pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and carry on now for today specifically, and I'll start off as I have been with 3 tarot cards to give us an overall assessment of the energy, and then I'll go ahead and draw the runes for the day, and then we'll take it from there. I'm going to introduce another oracle set today. We're going to introduce the spirit animals. We're going to draw one from that to see what spirit animal wishes to come forward and speak to us as well. Okay. So, trying to give you the best of all worlds here. Okay. One more. Cut my deck. What is the overall energy for today? Monday, the 7th of July. And thank you. Thank you very much. July the 7th. Monday. For my collective. And thank you. All right. Well, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups talks about new opportunities and positive energies, joy, love, celebration, fertility, and new relationships. That's awesome because the overall energy for the week, which I should have gone over, but I neglected to do so, is Gebo. Gebo is the rune of reciprocity, of gifting and receiving, of joy, of the divine union. So if you are divine feminine or divine masculine, which means you have, in terms of tarot, you've worked your way through all the lessons of all 4 different kings or queens in the tarot deck, which represent, the 4 different elements: earth, water, fire, and air. Okay. Once you've gone through and done all the lessons of that, then you become basically a divine feminine or divine masculine. At least that's the way that it's generally looked at. So if you haven't already done that, you still have lessons to learn. You are not quite there. Don't fret. You can still get there. I mean, you just keep doing the very best you can each day, and you'll get there. Okay. But this is a very, very excellent card. So the card for today, oh my God, another ace. An Ace of Wands. This is a fiery card, okay? So, I mean, it's usually looked at in terms of like sexuality and things like that, but the start of something new. Opportunities, change, creative energy, inspiration, and good news, okay? So aces are the beginning of something, okay? So again, excellent. Let me write that down. Where are you at there? Okay. All right, so another energy, please. Another energy for the collective. Can I get another energy for the collective? We've been pulling out a lot of positive energy today, so lots of good juju in the air right now. Take advantage of it, you guys. Spend some extra time with your loved ones. Give your animals, your pets, some extra love. Give your projects a little extra love today. Certainly give your ancestors and the Most High a little extra love today. Okay, one more, please. The energy for today, please. Energy for today, which is Monday the 7th. Thank you. All right, so we have 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups. All right, put this down at the bottom. I have Death card. Now, don't be scared by the Death card. Again, it could be the death of a cycle, which is a good thing, especially if you've learned your lessons. It means you're ready to move to the next cycle. Graduate, if you will. You got your A, so now you're moving forward. That's what that means. So, but it could also mean a physical death. And again, we pulled that rune out too, that rune for Wednesday. So keep that in mind. It could be a physical death, or it could be a death of a cycle. Now, what this means, the Eight of Cups, it talks about basically the desire to leave something behind, abandonment, escaping, strength, traveling or moving on, moving someplace else, whatever the case may be. But it's about forward momentum. It's about change, okay? That's what this is. All right, let's get one more, please. One more energy for today, for Monday, for my collective, please. One more energy for my collective, and thank you. Okay, one more. Okay, thank you. God. All right, that's a major arcana. The Magician, utilizing the skills at your disposal to make things manifest. Resourcefulness, focus, expertise, direction, and potential. Okay? I use this quite a bit. So, what is the energy for us? Not so good. All right? All right. This is the Five of Pentacles. This is where somebody in the sphere of influence, maybe yourself, feel like you're out in the cold, basically. Maybe you're really having a rough time of it, or somebody you know is having a rough time of it. You may not know, So you may not know that this person in your sphere of influence is having a rough time. Possible financial or spiritual hardships, poverty, financial difficulties, hard times, and possibly in the cold weather. If you're on the other side of the world, that may be so. Or in the southern hemisphere, if you're really south, yeah, or really far north. So, yeah, okay. All right. So the overall energy is pretty good. Okay. Tells us basically that there is a need for change, a need for movement, and that there is a possibility, of course, of something falling apart, or maybe our financial assets and things of that nature may be troubling us this week. Okay, so we want to be conscious of that, careful of that. All right, now we can start to pull the runes. Pull the runes for today. Now, the overall energy for today that we just pulled for Monday was Tiwaz, and this is the god Tyre's rune. And he, again, is the god of justice, righteousness, and fairness. He's also a warrior god, as they all are, So, god of justice and righteousness, fairness, discipline, duty, responsibilities, being a warrior, and victory in whatever you're pursuing right now. Okay? So that's the past. Now, also, what we got for the overall as a reminder was Gebo. And Gebo is the rune of reciprocity, or giving and getting, receiving, giving and receiving. Okay? Again, it's like X marks the spot on a treasure map. It's a very good rune. Also talks about offerings, talks about partners, talks about love, and it talks about divine unions. So we saw that with the Ace of Wands. We very well could have somebody new coming into our life. And it seems as though, at least in one case, and you may have more than one person, it hasn't specified yet for this week, but previous weeks have, so keep that in mind. These are timeless readings, so some of these things still haven't happened for a good portion of you out there. But we do have a divine union that is trying to manifest. So don't close the doors before they open. Be open for love, but definitely use your intuition, okay? Use your intuition. Remember now, if it's somebody from your past especially, we've been cautioned about that a few times over the last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks in particular. I mean, it was more or less implied the first 2 weeks, but the last 2 weeks, it's definitely been very, very, very open about it. All right, so what is the overall energy for today? It's being supplemented by the God Tires rune of Tiwas. What is the overall energy for today from this point on? And thank you. Well, that's good. We pulled Othala out many times. Now, this again is about your private possessions, your inheritances, ancestral heritage, abundance, property, home, house, dwellings, things of that nature. It's a very good rune. Positive, especially in the upright. So we're off to a good start. Othala. All right. So very good. And that's in the third family group, or Ayat. And that is governed over by the God Tire. So another one of his runes. All right, so with that being said, now let's look at some of the influences that could affect us throughout the remainder of today, even though it's pretty late right now. So it's roughly about 3 o'clock, but I got here as soon as I could. I had a lot of things I had to do. So I explained that in the last video, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. All right, influences for today, and thank you. Influences for today. Oh. Okay, this is Perthrow. Okay, it doesn't look like it, but that's their letter P, and it's up in the upright, so that's very good news. All right, so Perthrow is found in the second group family, or Ayat, which is Heimdall, the god who guards the gates of Asgard itself. And again, this means like games of chance, luck, and so on. Games, gaming, fate, things that are unknown. But it also talks about like the divine feminine, yes again, and destiny. So anything that is feminine in nature, like the female vagina, things of that nature, female fertility, that's what this rune also speaks of. So with all this divine love they're talking about, you might want to be very careful this week, as it could actually end up producing a divine child too, if you know what I mean, wink wink. All right, let's look at another influence, please. Another influence. Perthrow is a good influence, but don't make it too good, if you know what I mean, unless you're ready for that. Influence, please. Another influence for the week for my collective. What else do we need to be aware of for today? And thank you. What else do they need to be aware of today? Legoose. But this is Legoose in reverse. Now, Legoose typically speaks of things that are related to any body of water, rivers, lakes, oceans, streams. It doesn't matter. But what that really is referencing, of course, is again looking at the elements, the 4 elements. And water is talking about emotions, if you will. So it usually talks about psychic abilities, intuitive abilities, look at being able to see one's fate, see one's future, or another's for that matter. Now, in the reverse, it means escaping. It means temptations. It can mean greed, confusion, rejection, poor judgment, despair, and fear. Now, fear is the opposite of love, not hate. And we don't want to be in a low vibration if we wish to manifest anything into our life. If you're trying to manifest anything, you have to be at the same vibration for receiving that something. So if you want something positive, you can't dwell in the negative. And I know that's not easy to do, especially if you are having a negative period of time, or you're going through things right now where it's hard to see the positive. It can only be done through meditation, so that you can change that perspective and see that there is always some light within the darkness, okay? That's all you need. And that it's basically just a lesson needing to be learned, that darkness that you're going through right now. All right, now last not least, let's go ahead and look at our future energy for today. So everything is fairly good. I mean, we have some very, very positive energy. Gebo, Othala, Perthrow, and Tiwas, all those are in the upright and very powerful. The only one that's in the negative is, you know, lay goose when we just pull. And even that's not that bad. We just have to be conscious of our feelings and nip it in the bud before, you know, we end up dwelling on it too much. Okay? Again, we don't want to fear. Be courageous. That's what the god Tyre is telling us. He is the god. Okay, I'll have to take that one. Ah, at least it's in the upright. Berkana. This one about travel and things of that nature. Okay, so talks about beginnings, fertility, healing. Talks about the birch goddess, Birchka, which is just one of a few names that she may be known as. The Great Mother talks about desire. So again, all these go along pretty nicely with this divine union that seems to be coming in this week. But again, be careful, because with all the desire we're also manifesting in these readings and these divination pulls, we could lead to a divine child or two or three, depends. So again, use caution, protection if you're not ready for that, unless you're trying to manifest something beautiful. And children should never be looked at as anything less, because they're completely innocent. They are beautiful. And you were a child once, right? Do unto others, golden rule. All right, so the energy overall for the week is extremely good. All right, again, with Tyre, with Othala, Birchka, or Berkana, Gebo, and Perthrow, it's a very, I would say, highly positive, energetic manifestation so far. Now let's go ahead and look at a few hidden truth cards for the collective to see what else they would like to say to you, to refine this reading just a little bit. Okay? What hidden truths do my collective need to be aware of, please? Thank you. These things are still stiff as a board. Still hard as heck to shuffle. One more, please. One more. Hidden truths for my collective, and thank you. Hidden truth. I wish things could be different. I understand that, and of course, anything that doesn't go the way that we want it to go, that's something that we would definitely ordinarily feel, right?
Do you know where you don't place to get water, or it's all the way to camp, so it's all the way down?
For what?
Water?
Oh, you can get it right over there.
Yeah,
there's a drinking fountain right over there, about 500 meters. Let's see. I'll write that down later. Sorry about that, you guys. All right, one more hidden truth, please. What's another hidden truth for these guys? Another hidden truth for my collective, please. Thank you. Hidden truths. Another hidden truth for the collective. One more. Whoop. All right, thank you. I'm afraid to contact you. And again, I already know that this is talking to me specifically, but it's also talking to somebody that's looking out, or I should say who's out there, is watching. So somebody out there is afraid to get a hold of you. Okay? And that could be for a lot of reasons. I'm not going to make any presumptions about that. Like I said, some people are just cowards. Some people have a lot to answer for, a lot to try to make amends for. Maybe they're not willing to. Maybe they don't want to badly enough. Or maybe they, I don't know, maybe it's not just pride. It could be something else. Although, again, since I already know that this is the situation for me specifically, I can't say right now. It's hard for me to see the other options. Sorry about that. I try to clear my mind against all these things, but when something like this pops up and I know it does definitely fit in my life and my situation, then it's hard for me to see something outside of that at times. But if it basically resonates with you, if you have somebody that came to mind when you saw that card, when I pulled that card, that's probably 9.999% of the time out of 10%. That would be the correct person. So just keep that in mind. All right, now we're going to go ahead and pull a couple of love cards, and then I'll pull a singular animal card too to see, what a spirit animal or totem may actually want to come forward and give us some words of wisdom. All right. Heartbroken. Deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. Well, any of us who've ever experienced heartbreak, and that's probably almost everybody out there, I presume, unless you married your childhood sweetheart and it's been it's been blessing ever since. I don't know anybody that fits, but if that's the case, then you're very fortunate indeed. Certainly not been my case. I don't resent a single one of my relationships, however. I learned from every one of them, good or bad. And I've had some really good ones too, really ones. In fact, every one of them that I've had some elements that were very good. Or, I wasn't always just trying to help somebody along or, basically uplift them at my expense, although I have done that several times. And if you're empathic, you probably had to learn that lesson the hard way too. Having the heart of Christ or Christ consciousness, we have to learn that there are lines in the sand. There are. And it's not an easy lesson. But somebody's feeling very hurt right now. And I can empathize with that, even with the people that I'm resonating with right now, that I know that this is actually speaking of. Okay? I do feel for you, but I'm not going to allow you to capitalize on those feelings. I won't. I've made my decision. I have. I wish you the very best, but you need to grow. You need to change. And if you don't feel those things, you don't feel that you have a need to grow or to change, then that's fine. Your decision to make, not mine. But we are not on equal playing fields. So I'm sorry, but it's just a reality. It's not a boast or anything like that. There's plenty of biblical verses, I'm sure, that you can understand, which refer to that. All right. Well, maybe that's why they don't want to come to you, or they're afraid to talk to you. The runner. Again, someone who is in a codependent relationship, doesn't feel confident enough to be on their own. Fear of intimacy. Again, there's more than one person that I know that this could fit in my reality as well. And listening to ego instead of the heart or that Christ consciousness. So these are the kinds of things that ruin what could be something very beautiful. It may even have been something that was meant to be. But you decided to operate on your lower vibrational state instead of the higher one. That's what happens. But all said and done, the energy for us is one of, very, very positive. Very distinctly, beautiful. Reciprocity, divine unions and love, gifting and receiving, a possible inheritance coming. Of course, the need to be, in your leadership traits, attributes, and so on, in terms of justice, righteousness, fairness, having discipline and a sense of duty and responsibility, being the warrior in your reality and achieving victory, as Tyre would say. Okay? And also If you aren't a feminine, or if you're a woman and you're not in your divine femininity yet, is something to strive for. Now, I have been in my divine feminine role. I've also assumed the divine masculine role. I have had to take care of both roles in my life because my counterpart basically betrayed me and went to the dark side, the Darth Vader, if you will, of these divine unions. And that's just the way that it is. So, as a result, I've had to step up to the plate in both and do both of our jobs. And it was not an easy ordeal because I had to, and still am, literally going up against an entire coven by myself. So, and a coven that she is also a part of. So again, these are all things that I will manifest very clearly once they've actually been brought forward to the mainstream. But until then, these are the kinds of things that sometimes happen in our reality. Just because something was written and it was meant to be doesn't necessarily mean it will be. We do all have the right to free will. And that's what happens sometimes. So use it wisely is the moral of the story. And that's where I want to leave you guys with, okay? I hope it's a positive read. I hope it is a blessing for somebody out there. If you are here watching this, there was something in that reading for you. It may not be everything that I was saying. It may not be every energy I pulled. It could be, but there will be something in there for each and every one of you out there if you are here watching this. Nothing happens by accident, okay? And I just want you all to know that I may not know you personally yet. Many of you I've already interacted with through comments and so on. And I'm very, very thankful for each and every one of your comments, even the flirtatious ones and so on and so forth. You make the old guy feel good. Thank you. Maybe that's what you meant to do, and I appreciate it. Okay, but whatever your current concerns may be, or if you just want to chime in about something about your own personal life or what have you, that's beautiful. Go ahead and do so. And as I'm able, I will always try to chime in and either give you my input, or at the very least I'll give you a heart emoji or a big thumbs up or a thank you or something at the very minimum. Okay, so I just want to thank each and every one of you, and I'll say again, victory. I'll say have a blessed remainder of the day, and I will see you all in Valhalla.